首先呢，第一点，我需要跟那个网友朋友们和交警同志们，我需要先承认错误。毕竟
有点慢了，就这么堵车，咱就是说，这是为点啥？
哎呀，我
长春已经正式步入春运了吧？我的天，这为什么这么多人？谁能告诉我？
左转进入卫星路。
谁能告诉我为什么这么多人？
The northeastern Chinese city of Changchun, capital of Jilin province, has recently witnessed an exodus of residents fleeing rising costs of living and restrictive government policies. Fan videos circulated on social media depict extensive vehicle queues clogging Changchun streets as locals attempt to drive away, while overwhelmed train stations struggle to accommodate the crowd scrambling to leave. This extraordinary scene has left many astonished, questioning the impetus behind the mass departure. Oh, it seems that Changchun has officially entered the Spring Festival travel rush. My goodness, why are there so many people? Can someone tell me how to turn left onto Satellite Road? Can someone tell me why there are so many people? Fines and fees behind Changchun's flight. According to local sources, the exodus was sparked following the conclusion of China's National Day holidays in early October, when Changchun authorities initiated a severe traffic management campaign. The Changchun Public Security Bureau announced its intention to carry out comprehensive traffic enforcement for 1 month with the aim of building a safe, smooth, convenient, and efficient urban road traffic environment. Key to this campaign are special tactical squads comprising 200 traffic police officers with backup support from urban police stations and district government volunteers. These personnel have been deployed to stringently crack down on all forms of traffic violations and create an atmosphere of strict penalties. Just after the Chinese National Day holiday, Changchun has initiated a new round of traffic management, as per official reports, officially commencing on October 7th. The focus of this rectification work is to address 4 categories of parking violations: unauthorized parking on pedestrian walkways and tactile pavements, unauthorized parking occupying green spaces, unauthorized parking blocking traffic safety passages, including emergency access routes and fire lanes, unauthorized parking not complying with designated parking space markings, such as not following directional arrows or parking across multiple spaces with a single vehicle. In simpler terms, this crackdown on illegal parking is essentially a form of issuing fines. It's important to note that now in Changchun, parking is prohibited in the entire row of spaces downstairs, and traffic police officers are going vehicle by vehicle to enforce these regulations, issuing fines to numerous cars. However, Changchun residents contend that rather than improving road safety, the campaign represents a disguised push by the government to impose excessive fines and fees on drivers. Reports indicate that within the first few days, Changchun's traffic department had already penalized 300,000 people, collecting 120 million RMB, approximately $16.8 million in fines. Individuals face a fine of 200 RMB for any minor infraction, such as parking in an unmarked spot. I just went out to buy groceries in the morning, and when I was coming back, my goodness, I saw a traffic officer putting a ticket on my car. I was in a hurry and forgot where I parked my car among all these other cars. It's not easy to find a parking spot in the late evening. I thought I would move my car early in the morning before they started working, but they came to put a ticket on it before 5 a.m. What can I do? I argued with the traffic officer, but he said he didn't notice that the car had already been canceled because of my nearsightedness. Traffic police have been working hard to issue citations, patrolling streets day and night. Some officers have even begun distributing fines at late hours like 9 or 10 p.m., stirring public outrage. Locals argue that the campaign's true motivation is to quickly boost government revenue rather than enact thoughtful traffic management. To increase opportunities for penalties, traffic police have introduced parking arrows that drivers must align with or receive fines. However, As people grew wise to this practice, police found issuing citations became more difficult. In response, authorities have taken the extreme measure of erasing or reducing existing parking spaces on roads overnight. Despite properly parking in designated spots the previous evening, citizens have woken up to find tickets on their cars as the lines demarcating parking spaces mysteriously vanished. Fearing unjust fines, many now take photos or videos when parking as evidence in disputes. The lack of parking has reached such an extent that finding a spot anywhere within a 500-meter radius is virtually impossible, causing people to be wary of driving. For parents commuting long distances to drop children at school, the parking shortage has created major headaches. Though reduced driving should improve traffic conditions, paradoxically, the streets have become more congested. Traffic police have added more opportunities for violations by painting additional yellow no-crossing lines at locations like roundabouts prone to accidental infractions. Even minor oversights now result in steep 200 RMB fines. I've already paid the fine for parking illegally. Yes, I've paid it. Well, first of all, I need to admit my mistake to my online friends and the traffic police officers. After all, I parked illegally, and regardless of whether there were people in the car or not, the first thing is that I shouldn't have chosen a non-parking spot to rest. So why did I choose to rest there? On the one hand, it was close to the restroom. And on the other hand, I'm a ride-hailing driver and I was exhausted and couldn't walk anymore. I can't say it's fatigue driving, can I? Secondly, traffic police officers, shouldn't you investigate the reasons a bit? My car windows were open and the car was powered on. Couldn't you have observed carefully to see if there were people inside the car? Right. Well, I can't say that the traffic police officers are not doing their job. They should remind you diligently, and reminding you is their job, right? If you parked illegally, you should accept the penalty. And let me also address the previous issue. Why did you reply to the traffic police detachment saying that it wasn't your department but the urban management that put the ticket on? Is this a typical attempt to shift responsibility? Aren't you just afraid that I might find video evidence from inside the car to prove that I was resting in it? Since there's no evidence, you're basically saying you have no evidence. So some people might comment that the government is doing a good job and they support what the traffic police are doing. Well, these online commentators are not making much sense. They are just repeating the same thing over and over again. Remember, government agencies and your law enforcement department always serve the people. Don't act as if you are above the common citizens just because you work for government agencies or law enforcement. We, the citizens, should listen to government agencies. Isn't that what you say? You're not supposed to act like the officials in the past dynasties. Now you are here to serve the people primarily. Next thing is, it's about governing the country and the family with the rule of law. So, shouldn't your behavior be accountable to the public? Financial motives behind frenzy of fines. What's driving this overzealous targeting of citizens over minor violations? Many speculate it stems from the dire financial straits Changchun's government faces. As one commentator noted, local government's revenue now relies on these fines. There are indicators that Changchun authorities may be desperately attempting to supplement tax revenues through excessive traffic penalties. Reportedly, some local governments have instituted fine quotas that tie officer performance reviews or bonuses to meeting citation goals. Leaked videos have even shown police publicly pledging to avoid finding specific vehicles, tacitly admitting the money-oriented nature of the crackdown. Changchun is emblematic of a broader trend emerging across China of local governments aggressively imposing fines and fees to generate income. As the national economy continues decelerating, city and provincial officials starved of tax revenues seem increasingly willing to prioritize hitting revenue targets over public welfare. However, while fines may offer temporary relief, economists warn relying on fleecing the populace is unsustainable long-term for China's economy. Home to major auto factories like FAW Group, Changchun has been particularly hard hit by China's economic downturn. The city's GDP growth slowed to just 2.2% in Q1 2022, ranking last among provincial capitals nationwide. Jilin province as a whole saw a GDP contract by 3.2% in Q2 2022 compared to a year earlier. Changchun is grappling with declining manufacturing as residents face rising living costs. with youth unemployment exceeding 19% this January. The loss of disposable income likely creates strong incentives for local officials to aggressively supplement coffers through fines. However, by further draining the public's limited earnings, the risk is lower consumption and reduced economic activity, exacerbating existing economic struggles. Bleak prospects prompt Changchun's exodus. The stifling atmosphere and financial burdens imposed on Changchun residents in recent months have prompted many to vote with their feet. Those with means have opted to migrate in hopes of greater security and prosperity. A 2022 survey found over half of Changchun's population expressed a desire to move to another province, representing the highest rate among provincial capitals. Economic factors were cited as the predominant reason. Last year, Changchun's population already declined by 113,000 as residents departed for other regions. The skilled youth population has been especially prone to leave, concerned about Changchun's lackluster economy and career development opportunities. High housing prices also drive away younger individuals. According to paper, Xi'an, average home prices in Changchun exceeded 11,000 RMB per square meter as of September 2022, while average local disposable incomes have stagnated around 47,000 RMB. Changchun's population outflow highlights a concerning trend occurring in many of China's northeastern cities. Historically reliant on heavy industries like automobile and steel production, the region has struggled transitioning to a more modern economic model. From 2013 to 2020, the three northeast provinces account for over 20% of China's total population decline. Upwards of 6 million people have deserted the region in search of better prospects elsewhere. Amid rapidly slowing economic growth nationwide, even China's traditionally wealthier coastal metropolises are now facing population declines as well. Early data indicates Shanghai's population fell by around 1% in 2022, the city's first drop in decades. The mounting migration across China spotlights growing pessimism regarding the country's economic trajectory. Rather than address systemic issues fueling the exodus, thus far Changchun authorities have mainly responded with propaganda, trying to dissuade people from departing. The government released rap songs with lyrics like "Want to escape Changchun, impossible," and "Running away makes your dreams farther away." State media have also tried painting those leaving as unpatriotic. However, continual erosion of living standards and individual rights will likely override such nationalistic rhetoric for many considering migrating. While China's economic growth previously offered hope for upward mobility, increasingly that no longer appears true, prompting people to seek better prospects elsewhere when possible.